All right. Is this thing live? Don't know if anybody's there. Well, either way, it says it's alive, so I'm going to assume it's live. Hi, I'm Mark, KD7DTS. There's a slight time delay between me and Daily Caffeine if you hear anything in the background. And hey, we even have people here. Welcome, Grey Ghost. Glad to see you here. Hello, Daily Caffeine. You know, it's very important when you're practicing Morse code to not think too much. And I assure you, I have a solution to that, which is not going to be an empty glass. Tonight, we're going to complement our learning with Oban 14, which is an excellent scotch that's gotten me through a lot of Morse code QSOs over the year. So that's just going to sit behind me, and every time I need assistance, that glass is going to be my company. So, why are we here tonight? Well, because I'm at home and I need to be better at Morse code. And there's a tool for that. So we are going to learn about Morse Walker. I would ask anybody in the room if they have heard of Morse Walker, but I know who most of you are. And let's be honest, you all know what Morse Walker is. It's possibly the best game that's out there, and conveniently, it's free. So last night I did a private stream just to debug this thing. And what I discovered is it was very fun. I played for an hour and I missed a lot of Morse code. So tonight I thought, let's take those lessons learned and embarrass myself in public. So I'm Mark, KD7DTS. I've already put in my station settings here for my California location. I'm going to be sending at 25 words per minute, and that's because I don't need to be sending at all. The computer's going to do that part for me. And I like a 600 hertz side tone. It's a little bit lower in the spectrum, and it's easier on my ears. Those high pitches can kind of get to me. So there's 5 basic modes here in the software that Henry wrote. And Henry is based in New York. As far as I can tell, he wrote this thing as, just for giggles. And he did a phenomenal job. His call sign is, he's W6NYC. W6NYC. So if you ever bump into W6NYC on the air, give him a shout out. Anyway, it has 5 basic modes. It's got single caller. So you call CQ, somebody will respond. They'll come back in a range of words per minute that you specify, and then you can just try over and over and over again until you figure it out. Then there's the basic contest mode, where you're trying to get a call sign and words per minute and a serial number. That's actually standard for a lot of ARRL contests. Then, of course, there's POTA activator, which is very much like SOTA, except they misspelled the S. And that's my sweet spot because I mostly do summits on the air. And then we have CWT. I assume that's Morse code test. I don't really know. I haven't done it, but the one that I had a lot of fun with embarrassing myself on last night was the K1USN SST. And for that one, you get as many attempts as you want on the call sign, but you also need to copy names and states. And it turns out that is really hard because you don't get to ask for repeats on the names and states. Or if you do, I don't know how to do it. So that's the basics of what you can play. And then under the responding station settings, you can set maximum stations. So for example, 1, you can set a range of speeds. And I'm going to start out tonight being very lazy. We're going to maybe set it between 15 and 18 words per minute to start. You can even specify Farnsworth if you want to drop the effective speed. I don't really like Farnsworth right now, so I'm going to leave that off unless anybody wants to hear it. And then they'll come back with a range of different tones. That's representative of real-world conditions. A range of volumes, which is representative of stations using different power levels, different antennas, different distances, different number of skips across the ionosphere, and then different wait times. So how long does it take them to come back to you when you call CQ? So that means that you have to be able to handle it. And then down here we have call sign formats. So I am lazy, so I'm going to not do special event stations and stick to US only. That's pretty typical for what I get in SOTA. And I'm not doing cut numbers, which is a way to accelerate sending numbers because I'm too lazy to remember them right now, and I'll practice that in a later session. So you set up your responding stations, and then from that point on, if my computer works, we should just be able to start with our first CQ. $599 and a thank you. That's fantastic. We'll take it. AC5J. Great call sign. I don't know what it means though. 599. Pretty good. KT3MU. Very good. Slowed down a little bit for me. I appreciate that 15 words a minute. A lot of thank yous. Very polite. You know, B's and sixes always throw me off. I'm glad the B came after the six. KG0W. Another great call sign. How's everybody in the chat feel? Is this a good speed, or should we make it harder? I would do a poll, but I don't really know how polls work, let's be honest. I'm just going to look for comments or chats, whatever these things are. Oh, I wasn't paying attention. You know, that's actually a good lesson. I wasn't paying attention and I missed the call sign, so I'm just going to send a random letter and see who comes back. KG0W. All right. Wow, I can't copy tonight. KZ0W. K3SS. That's a lot of dits. NJ6Y. One thing I'm noticing, everybody's giving me a 599. I feel like we should change up the numbers. If I could talk to Henry, I might tell him people should give me bad signal reports sometimes. I'm not always a 5.9 in the real world. I do appreciate that 15 words a minute. It's, you know, it gives me time to talk, think, sip. Nope, I missed that one. I was too busy thinking about Daily Cat Fiend's comment on antenna mode. Wait, what am I doing? N7SWF. That seems like a great acronym for something. If anybody has a great meaning for SWF, throw it in the comments. I want to know what you think that means. N4UBH. Very good. K4TY. Yeah, Matt, I would love a soda mode. I might hit him up on email. I love that he includes his email on the actual app. That makes it a lot more fun because you can just hit him up if you have ideas. You know, This is also good practice trying to live stream this because in the real world, I frequently talk to people on mountains while I'm trying to do an activation. So this is actually fairly representative. Nope, I got that one wrong. These, sometimes these throw me off. They sound a little bit too much like a 3. Maybe you should clear up the pileup first and then look at comments. Well, I've disabled pileups, so there is no pileup. But you know what? I feel like Daily Caffeine is secretly asking to hear a pileup. Are you done hearing these easy little call signs? Would you like chaos? Have we got a deal for you? Dit, dit. All right, stop. Cool. 0 beat. Oh, God. 0 beat pileup. D, or Deely Caffeine, however you pronounce that. God, she's a glutton for punishment. All right, let's effing go, guys. Let's do 3 stations, but put them all in a brutal range of 550 to 650 hertz. We're going to simulate some OMs who don't know what they're doing because they don't know that detuning using that little RIT knob or the XIT knob is the single best way to cut through the noise. Are you ready for some terrible OMs? Let's freaking go. Reset. CQ. We're starting easy. 1 station. 1 station. Ooh, W6 GOG. Sounds like grog. That's basically a pirate. I assume this is a pirate I'm talking to. N5 CSQ. It's like they were calling CQ, but they don't know how their paddle works, and they just kind of set a whiskey glass against it to make an S in the middle. Okay, come on. Nope, nope, nope. CQ. Get this guy out of here. Come on, we're calling CQ again. Wait, why can't I call CQ again? Is that a bug? I want 3 stations here. What's going on? Why am I not getting more than 1 station? Question mark? Does it not let you 0 beat? How do you do this? How does one do this? How does one... Okay, I'm going to set it back to like 400 to 900. That was the default. Let's see if that lets us get... Wait, why can I not even call CQ? I broke it. I broke it all. Reset CQ. We've got a range. We should be able to get multiple stations. Yeah, but I don't want you. I want more stations. Nope. You know what? Why? Tell you what, we're going to try this turning it off and turning it back on again. I'm just going to do a stop and a reset. We'll see what happens. Yeah, Daily Caffeine is right. Sometimes you get more, sometimes you get less. What I don't know is what causes that? Maybe it's random. Maybe it's propagation. Let's I'm just turning up. Let's do let's go wild. 10 maximum stations. CQ. Often with just one or two stations initially. Oh, and you can even send QRS. Look at this. There's instructions. You know, like a good YouTuber, I did not read the instructions before I got on the internet. Who was there? I think there was a K. A minimum responding stations value would be a nice feature. Yeah, absolutely. That'd actually be really cool. Who's out there? Whoop. Wasn't paying attention. IPT. It almost sounds like a beer. It's like one dit away from a beer. I feel like I must have busted the settings somehow because normally I get a pileup when I do this. I gotta say, I've been practicing Morse code for a couple of years now, mostly just by going and doing soda activations. And copying stations reliably at 15 to 20 words a minute used to be really hard. And I'm going to stop this for a sec. And now that I've done it for a while, this feels super relaxing. You know, Dee, can you put up a spot for me on Morse Walker? I'm on Whiskey 6 Charlie Tango 00 Morse Walker. You know, I am in single caller mode. That's a good point. There's a maximum station setting in single caller mode. Brian, I think you nailed it. The problem is I'm an idiot. If I fix that, I think it'll work the way I planned. So let's go be a POTA activator because that's the mode I actually use. I haven't changed any of these settings, so let's set it to maybe like 5 maximum stations. And D wanted some really dumb OM0 beats, so let's go back to my 550 by 650. Okay, this should be fun. Brian, you got it. I appreciate you. Wait, is that NR7Y in the chat? I think that might be NR7Y. For anybody who doesn't know, NR7Y, whether or not that's the person I think it is in the chat, came up with the Quanshang CW mod, and he is very good at messing with stuff. So I'm happy you're here, Brian. Oh, what am I sipping tonight? This is Thought Juice. This is Oban 14, and I love it. Wow, I can't copy. Did I just mistake an O for an M? Oh, no, I got it. Ahmed! What's up, man? I'm 599. In Kansas. Heck yeah, I am. Thank you for Kansas on the first attempt. What up? Dit. When do I get my pile up? MS. Is that Mississippi? Seems like Mississippi. I don't think I usually hear Mississippi. Do they even have hams there? Whew, there's my Kentucky. Is that Kentucky? I don't know. There's an in and a pile up. All right, guys, listen up. Tell me who's in here. N6 JJ. Josephson Junction. This is a superconducting ham. Connecticut. Whoop, whoop. I'm working the East Coast and I'm always 599. This is what it must be like to be QRO. God, that's a mess. This is why you use the XIT, people. Was there a W? No, not even a W. Let's try an N. Is everybody any Ks? K7? There's something that ends in a C. Kilo 7 pile. That's a good call sign. I'm in a pile. Either he's in Maine or I am K7PYL. W810. You shouldn't be a 10 call sign if you're an 8. Come on, man. Oh, sending it twice for me. Man, all right, this guy's helping me out. He can tell I'm struggling here. All right, N7, Bravo, Uniform Hotel. Send a question mark after a single letter. Does that work in the game too? Nope. No M's. Whoever ends in C, I wish I could send just a C and have him come back. Let's do a K6. Nope. K7? You know, in the real world, I just call QRP. Is there any QRP station out there? No QRP stations. All right, what does it say in help? What are my options? Okay, so as far as I can tell, you have to start from the front and work towards the back, but you can't pick out the ending letters. Let's see. Yep. That would be a nice feature to have. Is like I can hear that C really clearly. I wish I could just call back to the C. All right, let's call A. No A's, W's, no W's, N's. Again, it's just going to be like 5 stations. All right, again. Here we go, Matt. Oh, COSP. Kilo 0. Sierra Papa. Whew. Okay. Oklahoma, it's okay. That's consistent. Okay, so I'm going to stop this because listening to this many zero beats is miserable and I hate it. So if you're doing Morse code, for the love of God, learn to use your RIT or XITs because everybody will appreciate that you are not terrible. Okay, so we're going to spread out those tones again. Anything more than 3 stations means that somebody is probably tail ending and they're also in need of improved operating practice. So we're going to make this better. Oh, what is RIT and X-ray India Tango? RIT is a receive offset. So if your radio is set to, let's say, a reasonable frequency like 14.06 megahertz, sorry, 14.06. Sorry, if you're a technician, let's say 7.06 megahertz. So 40 meter band near the QRP calling frequency. If everybody else goes to meet you at 7.06, which is where you're spotted, you know what? I'm not even playing the game right now. I am going to switch back to my face. What up? That's me. If everybody goes to 7.06, and what's going to happen is you're going to get that nasty zero beat. Because everybody has a good radio these days. Software-defined radios are good. People have crystal oscillators that are compensated for temperature, which is fantastic. We love crystal compensated radios, right? The problem with that is if everybody has a good radio, everybody has a nice narrow 50 to 100 hertz broadcast band, depending on Morse code frequency, study for your extra exam people, then what happens is you get the zero beat. The way to avoid that, if you have one of those good radios, is you can turn the dial very slightly and you can change like 7.0599 megahertz. Okay, what's the problem with that? Well, if you just turned your frequency down, what did you do? Well, you turned my frequency up relative to your frequency. So now instead of sounding like da 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 da, I'm going to sound like da 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 da, and that could get really annoying. So you might want to keep the sound of my Morse code the same, but make your Morse code sound distinct. So if you tune up in frequency, you can make your sound higher. If you tune down, you can make your sound lower. And that's how you stand out of the pileup. So Mountain CW Ops, which is this? This was Left Coast Ham Radio until last week, I believe. I'm getting confused on my YouTubers. We have multiple YouTubers with us, though. Thank you guys for the help. You're keeping me honest. Anyway, so XIT, you offset your transmit frequency relative to what the radio shows on the VFO, or variable frequency oscillator. If you use RIT, that's offsetting your receive frequency relative to what you set on the radio. So you can actually use those two functions to do the same thing. The difference is XIT is easier for chasing because you go to the frequency where the person has said that they are, you listen to them there, and then you make your sound distinct. If you use RIT to do the same thing, what you'll actually do is you'll detune your radio to find that unique frequency, and then you'll use the receive offset to move the receive sound back where it started. Both good features. Most radios actually have these, including a lot of QRP radios. Anyway, let's play Morse code. What do we got here? I got distracted. I love radios. Interact. Okay, we just did a really dumb pileup. Show of hands. Who wants to do a simpler pileup versus something else? What would the something else be? I don't know. Open to suggestions. We could also, you know what? While people think about what they would like to see, I am going to do a 3-station simple thing where people are behaving themselves. Let's demonstrate proper operating procedures. CQ. Hoda. I am KD7DTS. Let's do DX. Oh, God. All right. Okay. It is Morse time. Sorry, Josh. I got distracted. D wants DX, so we are going to disable US only call signs. Everybody prepare for me to get way worse at Morse code. I'm gonna prepare. If I don't get F4WBN though, I'm pretty sure Morse Walker's broken. hold on. I'm 599, but I didn't get a state. Oh, it shows state in A. Heck yeah. If for WBN. Oh, sorry, I have to call CQ. I was kind of expecting him to come back to me without a CQ, though. Is it Morse time yet? You know what, Josh? It's time for Morse Oban. Whoops, I got distracted by my SVs. You know, the benefit of doing DX is I don't have to copy states. This is great. There was a KW, maybe? Nope. Maybe it was just a W. Okay. What? Where'd everybody go? In? Ooh. In Q7 TEF. That is a terrible call sign. Get thee an extra and immediately get a vanity. I expect better. Minnesota. All right, I'm sorry, MQ7TEF. I should never be rude to somebody from Minnesota. You would never be rude to me, even if you don't exist. Oh, God, what am I doing? All right, Matt, you nailed it. That was, in fact, a G. Good job. Continuing my trend of not having states. The ionosphere is wide open tonight. Wide open. Look at this. We're getting wherever these stations are from. Can somebody look these up? Where am I propagating to? If I were doing FT8, I'd probably have, Norway by now. There's no FT8 walker, though. You don't really need to practice FT8. Or do you? Should I ask Henry if he can build an FT8 walker? Henry, donde está FT8 walker? K1 IRF. I ramble freely. I noticed playing this game something that I do in the real world, which is I cut people off while they're still sending the repeat of their state. I don't know, it was a W8 something. Whiskey 8 Special FX. Their special effects is Morse code. You can hear the dryness on that tone. It's pretty typical of stations coming out of Arizona. I guess what I'm saying is they don't have a lot of water there. Well, there's something with an L and something with an O. Let's start with an A. No, nothing. K, W, KL3S. Having a 3 and an S next to each other seemed kind of mean. Rhode Island? Dude, Rhode Island isn't even big enough to deploy an antenna. It's barely even a state. It's basically a pond. In 5 right now. Also, non-standard phonetics are terrible. Don't ever actually use them on the air. I I got it the first time, buddy. You don't need to send SC twice. That's an easy one. Or Texas. Everybody knows when you're in Texas. You're the guy with a kilowatt amp. SH? S? Hold on, I thought there was some DX in there. Hey, we got France, I think. Is FQ30 France? I feel like it's France. I'm hearing a baguette play in my head. Where was my did-it-dot-it? Did-dot-it? Okay. There's definitely DX in there. Help me out, guys. Who's the DX? Okay, I think that's a Spain thing. Spain? I think that's Spain. CW is a baguette. Where is Aura? Can I get Aura to make a baguette CW key? The only problem is that CW key would last like 2 days and it would go stale. You know what? Forrest would still buy it. Forrest would buy a baguette. LU4 Zulu. All right, we got ourselves South America. Heck yeah. Is that like Argentina or something? Anybody can tell me where LU4s are? All I know for sure is I'm 599. So far, perfect record on 599. My station is rocking tonight. What's up, people? I ran out of stations. All right. I'm stopping that. Well, that was fun. We got 12 stations. Daily Cat Fiend, if you got a baguette key, you would immediately eat it. It would not survive all the way to the summit. There would just be like crumbs going down the trail, and then Ormu would jump out of the backpack, and there wouldn't even be crumbs. You would just have a cat wandering off into the bushes looking for food. That's what would happen. All right, responding stations. I'm going to turn this to, let's make it brutal. Let's give ourselves a wide range here. Let's go up. Ooh, no. Let's make this really fun. Let's go from 15 to 30. This is going to be a terrible idea. I'm going back to US call signs, though. Banh mi key. Yes. Can we please have banh mi keys? You know, if they come with those like little fresh pickles, I bet you could have like a pickle sticking. You could make a banh mi iambic, just pickles on each side. Yes. CQ. Who's out there? Who's the WR? WR, come back. No. W? All right, WADR, you're boring. Somebody else has a more interesting call sign, but we'll get you out of the way. You know, I could tell that was a Louisiana station. It's a short call sign, but it's got like vague feelings of alligator on it. All right. I don't know who the rest of you are, but NK, come on back. NK4J. You know, pro tip, have a good call sign. I will be more likely to copy you. Pennsylvania, or Penn's Forest. I believe Sir William Penn, one of the original 13 colonies, if I'm not mistaken, but I could be mistaken. Well, there's an IOR something in there. N, maybe? No, W's. Was it W1XYZ? Ah, that'd be great. KI0ANO. Josh, you were close. You were very close. New Mexico. Yeah. Got some nice little like designs on that call sign. Too many designs. KI0ANO. Again, get thee to a vanity office. Terrible. I'm going with the N. Not two up. All right. Where are you at? North Carolina. That signal is way too good for North Carolina. All right, I'm going to stop you right there because let's be honest, if you're from North Carolina, you're going to have QSB on your signal. I've never once gotten a clean signal from North Carolina. They're not like those Texans. They don't use amps. North Carolinians they run barefoot. They've got ethics. All right, what are we doing next? Responding station. You know, none of them were going that fast. Should we just crank up the minimum speed to 20? 20 words per minute? Oh, this is going to be terrible. Let's go. I'm very bad at listening to two things at once. Let's take the A. Oh, something R. All right. That call sign also needs a vanity. Again, to the office. Don't send it twice. If you're sending it 22 words a minute and I'm copying you, go to the office. You got this. No, I missed two letters. KY2Z something. All right. KY2 Zulu Victor Delta. Good Lord. That's a rough one. Massachusetts. Again, there should really be QSB on that one. Okay. You know, there really should be QSB. Where am I? Hold on. I didn't turn on effects. You know what? We're going for it. We're turning on QSB. All right, Josh. Thank you for being here tonight. And indeed, dream in Morse code. I wish you da da did it da it and did it da it da did it da da did it da da dit dit. Okay, we're going for it with QSB. You know, that's an N0 something. If it were an actual soda activation, oop, I think it QSB'd right on out of there. I would say no DNF. No? Maybe I missed the zero. Oh, there's multiple ends. That's why. You know, one thing you're noticing on this is it's more clear when there's a single station. I think that's actually real, except on a radio, it would be because if there's less RF coming in, you actually have the AJC adjust, and so you actually effectively get more gain with a single station. Holy smokes, did I get that right? I think I just hallucinated innate DTJ out of the ether. Wow, all right. It's like the world's easiest. You know, I think I see a bug in here though, because you notice these negative times? I have done something that screwed up a timer. I think whenever I restart the mode, somehow I've been starting and stopping, but I haven't been resetting it, and that seems to be doing something with the timer. Henry, if you're listening, I think I found a bug. All right, sorry, who was out there? All right, let's try that N0 again. N05 something. Man, I'm having trouble hearing this one. He's like, no, I don't like it. Nope. What am I getting wrong? That really sounds like no 5 IIR. Oh, is that an S? SIR? Oh, God. That's not even a real call sign. Nope. What am I getting wrong? Anybody in the chat, what am I getting wrong about this guy? I don't know what I've got wrong. Oh, am I copying the P wrong? God. All right. N7, BUH. I drink to your health. That was terrible, and I'm embarrassed of myself. That's what happens if I try to talk and copy for an hour straight. It starts to cook my brain. No wonder he was in Georgia. I am saying I can't understand the accent. If you're in Georgia, maybe use voice. Maybe don't. Nope, stay with Morse code. Wait, hold on. Who is that? What's going on? Well, it was we two something, right? You? All right. I've almost redeemed myself. Whiskey Tango 2, Kilo, Golf, Charlie. Tennessee. All right. You know, if people would only send it 30 words a minute, then I could copy them. The problem is this IIP guy at 22. You know, it's weird. Sometimes sending faster is actually easier to understand. especially with QSB, because sometimes it like slots in between the QSB. Well, especially with New York. See, look, now the New York makes sense. There's QSB on New York, as it should be. New York has QSB. We're on the West Coast, people. The cats are running around. Oh, Hawaii? Holy smokes. I never get Hawaii. Wow. The ionosphere must really be firing tonight. Unusual given how many hours after dark it is, but you know, I'll take it. All right. Whew. Okay. Brain is getting cooked. I think I have energy for like one more thing before I call this practice session over. Anybody want to do a SST? It's terrible for me, but I'm gonna turn the speed down to something like more reasonable. Let's say like 15 to 22. That's a good number. You know what? D didn't like the US only, so let's get rid of the US only restriction. And I am going to turn the QSB down just because that was kind of a lot of QSB. All right. I think that seems like a good set of settings. So the challenge I found with this mode last night, and I got a lot of stuff wrong last night, is you call CQ, you get the stations back, you talk to the stations, you pour yourself another beverage because, you know, look, it's Morse code. You need beverage sometimes. But then you only get one shot to get their name and their state right. And I am not very good at copying names because that sort of Morse code buffer in my head starts running out after about 5 characters. And so if you come back with like a Henrietta, let's be honest, I'm going to call you Henry. CQ. All right, Dorothy in Alaska. I will take it. Thank you, Dorothy in Alaska. And thank you for having a short call sign and going slow. That's a good station right there. Nope, I ran out of stations. You know what? If there's no stations, it's really the ionosphere's way of telling you to have a sip. You know, it's malty, not smoky. It's a Highlands, and with just a hint of RF. Where the heck is an LZ0G from? This name is probably going to be funky. Who you? Who you? What? No. Hold on. An LZ0G cannot also be Dorothy. Dorothy is in Alaska. I just talked to her. You're not allowed to be in 2 places, Dorothy. Go back to Alaska. All right, finally, France. I've been waiting all night for France. Please give me a 599. Also, who are you? Donna, no. You are clearly Pierre. Nope, ran fresh out of stations. Wide open to France, and where's LZ Giro? Probably South America. I'm just going to say I'm open to France and South America. Just those places. Daily caffeine. I hope you didn't jinx me. Tyler. Look, Tyler is not an 0 and 6. Where are my funky names? I need some names with character. I need some quality here. Give me at least a Pierre. Come on. I'd even take a Peter at this point. UA1HJ. Look, if you're not Yaroslav, I'm going to judge you. Come on back. I don't actually know how I heard that. I was pretty sure that was going to be a Yaroslav. Emily. Ooh, LZ0 is Bulgaria. Wait, there's Dorothy's in Bulgaria? Really? All right, Brian. You know, if Brian tells you, it's going to be true. Wait, hold on. ES what? Was that? That sounded Spanish. Nicole? Man, we have more female operators on Morse Walker than I think I've ever heard on the air before. Morse Walker, props for your diversity initiatives, which clearly includes recruiting international women. Crushing it. All right, last CQ here. ES9G, who you? Aria? Look, you misspelled aura. Wait, it was Aria? I finally got an interesting name. Oh, thank goodness. ES9's come through for me. Okay, I ran out of stations. I think the ionosphere is fading out, even on my virtual band. All right, I'm going to hit stop here. Okay, my brain is only mostly cooked, but that was awesome. Hey, thanks for hanging out with me, guys. I plan to do more of this winter because, you know, one of my goals is to be less bad at things. And in lieu of that, I'm going to drink whiskey and do Morse code. So thanks for being part of the journey. Daily Cat Fiend. Is there anything else I should cover? Wait, hold on. Nobody's gotten to see the cat. All right, I think the cat should wave goodnight, and then we're going to sign off. All right. Kiddo, would you like to say goodnight to the friends? Oh, Matt, N7MCB. Next soda activation is tomorrow. One of our great West Coast chasers, WU7H, is coming to town, and he is going to go to a couple peaks. And despite the rain, a whole host of us are going to go over towards Pasadena and meet up with them. So that should be a pretty good show. I'm excited to see everybody, and there's a very high probability of beverages afterwards. Although, given the rain, I think Ormu will stay home. She does not want to go into the rain. Is that right, Ormu? That is right. She is exiting the scene. Ari is from Estonia. Estonia. Man, I don't think I've ever worked Estonia. All right, Matt. Yeah, I don't know exactly how much we're going to have out there, but I might take my 100-watt radio. I've got an 857 in the closet and two very full batteries. So if the rain isn't too bad, hey, Ormu is eating our kitchen decorations. So we got this beautiful set of kitchen decorations courtesy of Trader Joe's, and Ormu keeps chewing off pieces of the kitchen decorations. Ormu, why? Why are you always so hungry? All right. Good. Well, Matt, I hope I will work you tomorrow. Brian, thanks for hanging out and for fixing my misunderstandings of how the internet works. And yeah, I'll probably do this again pretty soon. So thanks, guys. Thanks for hanging out. And 7-3s, y'all. Hey, or moo. I gotta go retrieve the cat. Bye.